Hey Gus, saw Nick Cross getting some work there at free safety this week. What kind of went into that decision to rotate those two?
Well, I think I mentioned it earlier about that, when guys do pretty good in practice and they're showing consistency and, to try to find a role for him. So, he's been doing pretty good. He's been showing up. He's been on the details. And so to give him some, I think you saw 2 weeks ago or even 3 weeks ago, we got him in on some third downs just to see. And he was played pretty consistent, made a play against Tampa Bay. So we're just trying to get him on the field and see what he looks like. He earned it through, being diligent and on the details in practice. So it's, Ronnie did nothing wrong. We're just looking at both of them and trying to keep guys fresh so we can keep our speed on the field.
Mike?
Gus, with pass rush, it seems like it comes and goes, and you want it to come more than it goes. The way you're getting it, 42 sacks, 13 guys, you've been in places where you've had a guy this is our focal point, and now there's really no focal point. Are there pluses and minuses? Would you rather have a guy to be the focal point, or do you take what you've got?
Yeah, Chris Ballard and I talked way back in the off season, when we got Sampson and we were looking at free agency and things, and he mentioned to me, it might be, to get pressure might be the whole group. We'll see it. He kind of had the vision that, hey, Sampson could get 8+, or Quiddy and he gets his 7, 8, and everybody gets in there rather than maybe the one guy that's got 17 or 18 or something like that. So he kind of had that vision, what it could look like this year. And give Nate credit, and Matt Raish and those guys and the players. They've done a great job with it, and get in effect the quarterback. And, it does give you some freedom, coverage-wise, when you feel like you can get pressure with the front four.
With the way this is, I mean, is it I know you're in the middle of this, but when you say 42, do you sort of kind of give a little nod? That's a big number.
Yeah, I think it was brought to my attention yesterday, just where we're at and how we're doing. I always know that, okay, good. We had a couple of weeks where we got 6 sacks. That's great. But the total number, we keep challenging the guys, but it was brought to the attention. So, they're doing a great job. And now it's on to this week. We need to be able to affect the quarterback this week and keep those numbers going. So it'll be a great challenge for us this week.
One last thing, it's funny, like you say, you move ahead, you're only as good as your next game. If you get very little next week, they're going to say, what's wrong with the pass rush?
Yeah, I agree, Chappie. And not only from you, but from me too, right? I'll be saying it. But no, those guys have done a great job and, affecting the quarterback and getting pressure on them. And, so hopefully it continues. Like I said, this will be a good challenge for us just because they get rid of the ball so quick and they're a very patient team, and they got a lot of weapons on the outside.
Thanks, Gus.
James?
Gus, obviously Grover Stewart back this week. First of all, how do you greet him? Do you just give him a bear hug, or what's going on, and how exciting is it to have him back to add to a defense that has made some plays, but obviously has missed him in that run defense?
Well, I think it's like here you are at this point in the season, and you picked up a highly touted free agent. It just doesn't happen very often. And I'm not saying Grove is a free agent, but here he is. He's going to add a good player to the roster and come in and play right away. So yeah, I think we're all excited to get him back in here, and not only as a player, but what he brings to the whole unit. I know he's been the biggest cheerleader for the whole group. So to get him back in the building with all of us and on the field will be great.
And one quick follow-up. What do you think of just how EJ Speed is embraced having more of a role? 3 tackles for loss, continues to make those splash plays, with obviously more on his plate as like a full-time guy.
Yeah, and I think, EJ's handled it great. But I do think it is a transition. And he might have mentioned it to you guys. He's gone from 35 plays to 80. Last game we had quite a few plays. So he's going through that process to where, to keep that, competitive endurance, to compete every play at a high level, that whole process when you jump up and, more than double what you're accustomed to getting. But he's done a good job for us. You're right. He's made a couple splash plays, none bigger than that one, right? That was a second long and, made a play in a screen. And, so he's been doing a good job for us. And, EJ brings great speed for us. And that's what we're trying to be is, get as fast as we can on the field.
Raven?
And you kind of talked about the weapons that the Bengals have on the outside, namely Jamar Chase. I mean, getting to go up against one of the top receivers in the league. As a defensive coordinator, does it kind of make you excited to get the chance to go up one of these great guys, especially because, if you can slow them down, it'll show just how good your defense is?
Right. I think every week, Raven, we look at it that way. We say, hey, we need this challenge. We need to go to Tennessee. They're, in their stadium, I think they were 4-0. And running the ball really well. And so all these experiences are great for us. And now this week's no different. It's another championship opportunity for us, another opportunity for us to go out there and be challenged and see where we're at. And then, learn from it and grow from that to the next one. But this will be a great challenge. Really, really good receiving core. As you saw last night, the quarterback is starting to get in a groove and playing at a high level. And we've got tremendous respect for their coaching staff. We went against them when, went at the Chargers, at the Raiders a couple times, once in the playoffs. So, we know what they can bring as a coaching staff model, Richard and I, and just, great respect for them as a coaching staff and their talent level.
And kind of talking more about Jake Browning. I mean, I know it's a small sample size with 2.5 games, but you've kind of gone through this, like when you go up against rookies and other inexperienced guys. For you, does that kind of make it a bit more challenging to come up with a defensive game plan because you don't know exactly what he's going to throw out?
Well, I think that part of it is, first of all, Joe Burrow is someone that I've got great respect for. His dad and I worked together at North Dakota State. So, the Burrows and the Bradleys have been close for a long time. So, you know what Joe's like and what he brings to the table, his demeanor. And so now looking at it, I could see that Joe maybe had an impact last night. Just the demeanor, the poise, the confidence. I'm not saying that he didn't have it before, but you could see that run over. And I think he even mentioned it last night. And you're right. I think it's like, okay, here's a newer quarterback. He's had one start. Now what? Oh boy, they're going to be committed to the run game, take a little bit off his plate and go from there. I didn't see that the last two games, especially last night. I think they're saying this is our offense and he knows it so well. Let's go execute. And as it was when Joe was in there. So, I think you could see that the coaches have great confidence in him.
Kevin?
Hey, Gus, I know it's been a little bit, but what was Juju giving you guys defensively when he was playing for you? And then what would his return mean to your cornerback group?
Well, Juju is a highly competitive. And when he's on the field, he plays highly competitive. It doesn't matter who he's going against. He's got great confidence. You'll see that, right? When he played, he would press anybody and try to play at the line of scrimmage. And, he has that kind of confidence in him. So he's got a great demeanor, great competitive edge, great competitive mindset to him. And it'd be great to get him on the field some.
Steven?
Hey Gus, you've been with DeForest a couple of years now, and I'm wondering. I know he talked at the end of last year about how he's been here a while and he's kind of waiting for the tide to turn, and you might have wondered what his commitment level was to the future, and he's been very clear that he's in all the way. And I'm wondering, when you have that kind of buy-in from a guy like that of his stature, what is the trickle down effect? And what, if at all?
You know what? It's great. I know he came in the off season and visited with me, and we talked quite a bit, about, the vision and, looking at some things. I brought it up about, boy, we just got to find ways to get him some one-on-ones, any way possible. and try to make adjustments. It's our job to kind of, not for the player to run the system, but for us to adjust to the player and adjust the system accordingly. And, he was great about it. But I do think, Chappie said something before about, you got more guys, Sampson and Quiddy and Dio. And I think, what probably pleases Buck is not only, brings joy to him that they're doing well, but I think it also gives him some opportunities now as well. And so you see a little bit more one-on-ones with him, not like we want it to be, but there is still that part of it. So I think he is in a good place. I'm glad you asked him, because that, brings joy to me that he's in a great place as far as that's concerned. He's just a player that, he can disrupt in so many ways. I mean, batted balls and affect the quarterback, allow other guys to fall back and get sacked. So he's had a very, very good year for us.